Hello there, welcome to the Media Coach Monday Tip. And this week I'm talking about questions. Questions that you get asked probably at the end of your speech, or questions you might be asked in a meeting. I'm going to give you a very, very powerful technique to deal with the most difficult question. But first, let's just think for a moment, why do people ask questions at events, meetings, speeches and so on? And strangely enough, it's often not because they want to know the answer, it's because they want to make a point. They want to show perhaps another person that they're there. They want to challenge something that you've said. They want to call you out on something. There are all sorts of reasons why people ask questions that are not related to wanting to know the answer. So it's very important for you, as the person being asked the question, to listen very carefully, figure out exactly what the person is asking and what they need to know. Wait until they've finished asking. Don't assume that you know what they're asking and start formulating an answer in your head. That can make things very awkward for you. Wait till the end of the question, pause, and then respond calmly. Never get annoyed, smile and thank them for the question, whatever's going on inside your head. So you need to be very aware, very much in the moment when you're being asked a question. The other thing is, of course, you don't have to answer every detail of every question. If somebody asks a complex, multi-part question, firstly this, secondly that, thirdly that, you don't have to deal with every part. Take a part that you know the answer to and say, well, let me take that first part because that's really important. Or let me take the third part and deal with that. And then when you've done that, go back and say, and I believe you have some other points. More often than not, they will say, it's okay, you can move on. So handling questions is something that we all have to do from time to time. So shall I give you that really powerful technique now? Yes. Okay, right. It's called neutral paraphrasing. Neutral paraphrasing. How does it work? It works like many things do in three parts. Part one, you need to listen very carefully to the question, and when you've heard the question, you will say this. Let me understand exactly what you're asking. Let me understand exactly what you're asking. That's a really important first step. Now that's easy, isn't it? We can all do that. Then the second part is to paraphrase their question in a neutral manner. So if they've asked you a very, very aggressive question, a very strong question, perhaps accusing you of something, you say, let me understand exactly what you're asking, and then you rephrase the question in neutral terms. So for example, if they said to you, well, that was a really poor speech, you don't know what you're talking about, why on earth are you telling these sorts of things? It's all nonsense, isn't it? Let me be absolutely clear what you're asking. You want to know the evidence for the things that I've said, you want to know why I've come to this conclusion, and you want to understand fully what's behind what I'm saying to you. So you've taken all of the aggression out of the question. The person who's asked you the question is now nodding in agreement because you've kept the substance of the question exactly the same. In their head, they're hearing that aggressive question. The rest of the audience is hearing the neutral question, which you have paraphrased. So that's part two. That's the bit that gives it its name, neutral paraphrasing. Part three, you then answer your own question, your paraphrased question, in full, confidently and calmly. You've got to keep the topic the same. You can't go off and ask yourself a different question because that won't work. You've got to keep the topic the same. It's about taking the aggressive words out, taking the aggression out of a question. Answer that calmly, answer it in full, and then go back to the questioner, look at them, and they will realize, yes, you've answered the question and the aggression level has gone down. Never answer aggression with more aggression. That will only make things worse. So neutral paraphrasing, a very, very powerful technique for dealing with the most difficult question. Clarify, paraphrase in neutral fashion, and answer confidently in full. One little caveat with that, you can't do it repeatedly. If every time somebody asks you a question you say, let me clarify what you're asking, people will realize there's something strange going on. So you can use it once. A friend of mine calls it keeping a biscuit in your pocket. So you've got to keep a biscuit in your pocket. You take that biscuit out when you really need it, when you're really hungry, and you use the neutral paraphrasing technique. So I wish you the very best of luck answering even the most difficult question.